They say, some places are cursed, places where whispers linger long after the living have vanished. One such place hides in the foggy coast of North Carolina, a colony that vanished and left only a single word etched in silence, CROATOAN. The story begins in 1587, when brave souls dared to step into the unknown, led by John White, an artist and cartographer. The settlers crossed the Atlantic Ocean. They carried hopes larger than the seas they braved, ambitions fueled by Queen Elizabeth's vision of expanding England's empire. Among them, a child was born. Virginia Dare, the first English child to see the sun rise on American soil. The forests awaited them, silent and enigmatic. Trees twisted toward the sky as if holding secrets from centuries past. Birds, unseen but heard, called in patterns unfamiliar to human ears. The soil smelled of rain and mystery, fertile yet dangerous. Each step forward was both a promise and a threat, a pact with a world that did not bend to human will. John White documented every detail. The coastline, the rivers, the islands, the people they encountered. He painted their faces, their villages, the strange flora and fauna that had no name in England. Yet even with maps and sketches, the unknown loomed larger than the known. Every night, the settlers listened to the wind, whispering through the reeds and leaves, as if speaking in tongues meant for no human to understand. The settlers struggled to establish their homes. Cabins were erected, fields plowed, fires lit. The nights were filled with both wonder and fear. Strange shadows moved among the trees. The rustle of leaves sometimes sounded like footsteps. Every crack of wood, every distant scream of an animal sent shivers down the spine. The Atlantic storms were merciless, the sun relentless, the rivers both life-giving and deadly. John White returned to England for supplies, leaving the settlers behind with promises of return. But the world beyond the sea had changed. Spain's Armada threatened England, delaying White's journey. Months stretched into years. When he returned in 1590, he found the colony abandoned. Houses stood empty. Hearts were cold. No human figure, no trace of struggle, no signs of violence. Just one clue was left, carved deep into a post. CROATOAN, what could it mean? Over centuries, historians and archaeologists have attempted to unravel the mystery. Some believe the colonists merged with the CROATOAN tribe, vanishing into the forest like mist. Artifacts discovered in distant villages suggest that English tools, ceramics, and objects were integrated with native life. Others theorize violence, disease, famine, or the cruel hand of nature claimed the settlers. Some whisper of darker possibilities, unknown forces, spirits, or curses lingering where the living once tread. Among the settlers, every life had a story. Eleanor Dare, Virginia Dare's mother, carried a quiet strength. She held her child close, whispering lullabies under the strange stars of a foreign sky, as if her voice could shield them from the unseen dangers that lurked beyond the fires. Thomas, a carpenter, built cabins with trembling hands, aware that every nail might be the difference between survival and death. Every settler carried both hope and fear, and each step into the forest was a brush with uncertainty. The CROATOAN tribe observed from the edges of the wilderness. They watched the newcomers with curiosity, sometimes offering guidance, sometimes remaining distant. There were moments of understanding shared food, brief exchanges of language, and the cautious passing of knowledge. But the forest itself seemed to resist human intrusion, bending paths, hiding game, and whispering in ways that humans could not decipher. The settlers were never fully alone, nor fully safe. Storms became frequent, raging with a ferocity that seemed almost deliberate. Thunder tore the skies, rain battered the cabins, and winds howled through the trees like warnings. Fires were extinguished in a blink, crops ruined, and tools swept away. The colonists learned that survival was not only about skill but about humility, about understanding that nature held powers beyond comprehension or control. As John White finally approached the shores of Roanoke, after years in England, he found silence. The colony he had left behind was gone. Tools lay scattered, cabins hollow, and the very earth seemed to mourn. CROATOAN was carved deep into a post, a message he could not fully decipher. His heart ached as he walked through the empty streets, imagining the laughter, the toil, the dreams that once filled the air. Over the centuries, Various theories have attempted to solve the mystery. Some argue the colonists integrated with native tribes, becoming ghosts of the forest themselves. Others suggest they perished due to disease, famine, or violence. Yet, darker interpretations linger. Perhaps the land itself rejected them, or supernatural forces took notice of their intrusion. Every rustle in the trees, every whisper of wind seems to hint at secrets still concealed. Psychological tension also played a part. Fear eroded trust among the settlers. Some vanished in the night, lured by curiosity or desperation. Paranoia crept quietly. Dreams were haunted by shadows. The unknown became a companion as familiar as any friend, shaping behavior, choices, and fate. CROATOAN is not just a word. It is a symbol of the fragility of human certainty, a haunting reminder that control is an illusion. Picture this: walking where they once walked. The ground feels soft beneath your feet, rivers shimmer in the moonlight, and fog dances through the trees like ghosts. Every creaking branch, every distant howl, speaks of vanished lives. CROATOAN becomes a key to the imagination, forcing us to confront the thin line between history and legend, between courage and hubris, between life and disappearance. Roanoke's story is eternal because the unknown never truly fades. Ghosts linger, memories persist, and the land itself seems to breathe with the echoes of the past. Archaeologists uncover fragments. Historians debate endlessly. Artists and storytellers find inspiration. Every leaf, every stone, every whisper carries traces of those who dared and vanished. Some nights, the wind speaks with clarity, as if telling tales for those who listen. Some trees bend unnaturally, as if bowing to invisible presences. Stones appear carved by hands long gone. The land remembers the colonists. Their lives, though vanished, continued to shape imagination, philosophy, and myth. CROATOAN is both a riddle and a warning, a ghostly reminder that some mysteries are eternal. The final lesson of Roanoke is not in the vanishing itself, but in the human spirit. Even in the face of overwhelming danger, the settlers moved forward. They loved, they dreamed, they resisted despair, and even though they vanished, their echoes remain. The land is alive with their courage and fear, a living testament to ambition, fragility, and mystery. As you stand on the shore, imagine the whispers of Eleanor, Thomas, and Virginia Dare. Listen to the rustle of the forest, the cries of unseen creatures, the soft hum of time itself. CROATOAN is there, etched in silence, carved into memory, a reminder that some stories do not end. They persist, haunting, inspiring, and whispering truth we may never fully grasp. Step into the shadows if you dare. Walk through the forgotten echoes. Listen to the wind. Imagine the lost colony alive with memory. Subscribe and join the journey into darkness, history, and legend. For in the story of Roanoke, the past is never truly gone, and the echoes of courage, mystery, and loss remain eternal.